Welcome back, everyone, to the A.D.D show, where we're not always right, but we're never... Wait a second. Who cares? It's week one. Week one of football right now. I have been waiting all year for this. I do not care. Let's go.
You ready?
Everybody knows who we are.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to be doing predictions.
Yep.
All right. We're going to pick winners of the divisions, winners of... and who we think is going to make the Super Bowl. Then we're going to do a lock of the week and an upset of the week.
Yep. I did my wild cards, too.
You did your wild cards,
Playoff
too?
Wild cards, too.
I did who's going to make the playoffs.
Okay. His phone's... What was that? Like a prairie chicken?
I don't know what that one was.
That was some prairie. I don't know, man. What in the hell?
All right, so Nfc West.
Okay.
Let's start with the hardest.
That's a hard division? That was easy.
That's a hard division.
All right.
So I have 3 teams coming out of this division in the playoffs.
I do, too.
I have the 49ers winning the division.
I do, too.
Cardinals coming in second.
Okay.
And the Rams coming in third.
Okay.
And then I have Seahawks coming last.
That probably has a lot to do with your disdain of Russell Wilson.
No, it also has to do with the fact that their team isn't all around as good as all the other teams in that division. I feel like the losing team, the fourth place team in that division, easily could be 9-8.
Easily. I have about the exact same thing. I have 49ers winning the division. I have the Rams as the first wild card, and I have Seahawks winning it over the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are good, but I just haven't seen it. Whereas I haven't seen consistent good coaching, consistent good play from Kyler Murray. I don't trust them.
Okay.
We'll go to another team soon I don't trust, but I did pick them to win their division. But it's like, to me, it's just a trust factor, and Pete Carroll's the best coach in that division. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Okay. All right. I just think that division by far is the best division in football.
Of course. And I think both wild cards come out of that division.
Yes.
By far. Yep.
Well, there's actually 3 wild cards, though.
Oh, there is? Oh, I didn't...
7 teams.
Oh, I forgot. You are right. There is 3 wild cards, isn't there?
Yep.
Well, I didn't pick a third. So
okay. So, like, the NFC South, I think it's the Bucks and everybody else.
Yeah.
I think the Saints will come in second. 9-8, 10-7, fighting for the playoffs, depending on how Jameis plays. If Jameis plays the way he's capable of playing, which is, say, 5,000 yards, 30-plus touchdowns, and less than 20 interceptions, that's a damn good squad.
Yeah, it is.
Especially
and the only reason Michael Thomas comes back.
Right, and the only reason why people are sleeping on them right now is because they don't know how the quarterback play is going to play.
Of course.
So I do have the Saints finishing second, Panthers, then the Falcons. I think the Panthers and the Falcons finish around the same.
Yeah.
I don't think either one is very good.
I think the Panthers are trending up. The Falcons are trending down.
Yes, but again, you're going to have to look at Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Is he a huge upgrade over what they had last year? Or if you think about it, that kid, P.J. Walker, he's good. Like, he's a good football player. I just don't know if you can win NFL games with him.
I think Darnold's a better answer. P.J. Walker is there, and I'm not trying to be that person. I know why he's there, because the coach coached him at Temple. Okay. He's there because the coach, P.J. Walker, played at Temple for 3 years under Matt Rule, and I don't even care that Will Greer was cut. I'm just bringing that up, but they have a connection together. So obviously he wants his guy, but I still think Darnold's the best option on that roster.
Oh, yeah.
But again, all the weapons around him, I think again, Falcons have good weapons, so their defense is trash. And even last year, with their weapons, they
trust the Panthers' defense more than I trust the Falcons' defense.
And I like the Falcons' offense a little bit better, but I love the upside quietness of what the Panthers could be.
Yes.
They could shock the world.
Do you think the Panthers could fight for a playoff spot?
No.
Okay.
I think the Panthers are right around 6-7 wins, and I think they should be okay with that.
Okay.
Because I think there are other teams and other divisions that are going to be fighting for the lead in their division that will have more wins than that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. NFC North, I have the Well, actually...
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
Ravens are signing Le'Veon Bell to their practice squad.
Wow.
Just a heads up. It just popped up on my phone.
Who did you have go? Did you have the same order for the NFC? You had the same order,
Yep.
Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons?
Yep,
okay.
Falcons last. Yep.
All right, NFC North, I did Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions.
Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions. That makes sense. That's how I would have it. Packers winning as well.
The only reason why I have the Vikings over the Bears is because I don't know the quarterback play you're going to get out of the Bears. I know everybody's high on Fields, and he's going to start at some point this year, but is it going to be too late? Or is Andy Dalton going to find
Andy Dalton
something,
late. Yeah.
And lead this team to 4 or 5 wins, and Justin Fields still stays on the bench? They had no problem benching Trubisky being 3-1 last year.
Nope.
And then they proceeded to lose 7 straight.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where I just don't understand what the Bears are doing. Like you're committing to Andy Dalton.
You want me to tell you what
everybody other than the coaches and the GM wants you to commit to Fields.
I don't think the Bears know. I don't think the Bears think they're there yet. I think they know they're not. But here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers won't be there next year. So the division becomes wide open at the end of the season. Maybe the Bears are saying, let's see what we got, spend some more money next year in free agency, and next year make that run for first in the division, because it's going to be between Detroit probably still won't be there. The Vikings, who knows what pace they'll be in by then. And the Bears are building in the right direction. They have that running back piece. If you trust Montgomery, I think they do. You also have a great wide receiver in Allen Robinson. I can't think of the number 2 guy. I always forget his name. Mooney, thank you. You have decent tight end play. Your defense is still one of the best defense in the league, even if you can't recognize but one name on it.
Khalil Mack.
I said, but if you can only recognize one name, it's Khalil Mack.
Ronald Smith is on
I'm saying to the
too.
average fan, they have a great defense. I still think if Aaron Rodgers isn't there, Aaron Rodgers to love, and love may be good, is a 4 to 5 win difference. Yeah. And maybe Chicago's like, let's see what we got this year, because they know there's no way they're beating.
Do you think the Packers run away with the division like they did last year?
I think they have 5+ wins on the second place team.
Really?
4 or 5 at least.
Okay.
Because I think the Packers find a way to get 13 wins. I don't see anybody else getting more than 8 or 9.
Oof. All right.
There's 17 games, so losing 4.
Yeah, I see them losing a few more than 4.
That's fun.
I'm high on the Vikings this year. I don't know why.
Their defense wasn't that good last year. So, but again, they could make improvements. There's a lot of questionable defense. Freaking mosquitoes everywhere.
I like the Vikings this year.
I do too.
I think they're going to take a step forward. It's just, again, that Kirk Cousins variable. Like, you put all your eggs in the Kirk Cousins basket by giving him $84 million guaranteed. And this is the last year of that, I believe. I think he's a free agent after this year. You're not going to re-sign him. If you haven't re-signed him yet, you're not going to re-sign him.
Yep.
And
go back to DC.
I think Kirk Cousins is lucky if he's a starter next year. Yeah. But that it's just the Vikings, I think, are there. I just think they need to be more consistent on defense and be healthier.
Yep. They have all the weapons on offense. Their offense is great. But I think sometimes, like with some other teams, I think this isn't a knock at Kirk Cousins. I think he's a really good quarterback. We talked about that in the last podcast. They brought up points. He is a very good he's a good quarterback. He does what it needs to do. But I think his starting wide receivers and his running back and his people around him are better than he is. And I think the problem is that they have a really good offense that he's happily to be a part of, but that defense is still a liability. And I mean this in the nicest way. They remind me a lot of Dallas, where there's so many question marks and you have such good talent around a above-average quarterback with a really bad defense, and something has to give. They have the potential to win 10, 12 games, but I just don't see it right now because there's one team in their division that's that much better, and the Packers are that much better.
All right. I mean, it makes sense. I'm high on that. What order do you have?
I had Vikings second, too.
You had the Vikings second, too?
I had Chicago third, and I don't have them with many more wins. I have Detroit finishing second to last in the country.
Okay, so...
yeah, we got them at the bottom.
So then the NFC East.
Yep.
All 3 of these top teams are going to be around the same record.
Yep.
Washington, Dallas, Giants, Eagles.
Yep.
And...
I have the exact same order, by the way.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, we all talked ad nauseum about Washington, Dallas, and stuff like that. We do all the time. It's because a lot of our friends are Washington fans. You're a Dallas fan. They are relevant. We would talk about the Bengals, but the Bengals aren't relevant. If they start winning some games, maybe we have something to talk about.
But the NFC East doesn't win a lot of games, but they're just more popular.
Yeah, and I
think the Bengals have a better success over the last 20 years than Dallas and DC do.
They do.
I know they do. I know they do.
I picked Washington because I believe Fitzpatrick is better than what they had last year. And I think that defense got better last year at the end of the year They kept getting better, better, and better. And having another year under their belt, playing together, and signing a couple key free agents on that defense, I think this team is destined to have a breakout year. It's just, I don't know if I trust Fitzpatrick to have that breakout year. Just like I don't trust Dak to lead Dallas, but I don't trust their defense more than I don't trust Dak.
Yeah.
And then the Giants,
That's fair.
You're looking at the Giants probably being the second best defense in the division, probably a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're looking at...
And they're going undrafted in like every fantasy league.
Yeah, but you're also looking at what are you going to get out of Daniel Jones? And if you get any semblance of... What's the word I'm looking for? Accuracy, consistency.
Yeah.
If you get any consistency out of Daniel Jones, that team wins the division.
Yep.
And I am a firm believer in that because of the fact that the schedule is weak, and Saquon, if he can stay healthy with a quarterback where you can't do 8 in the box every game, every play,
I think
you're looking at the Giants being very dangerous in that division.
I think a part that is going unnoticed is the fact that the Eagles, Dallas, and Giants have the 3 of the 4 worst schedules upcoming. The easiest. I think Eagles have number 1. I think Giants are 2. Dallas is like 3. And DC is like in the 15 somewhere. So I think that's another thing to think about is it goes based off your win-loss pretty much from the previous year in a way.
Yeah, Washington has a first-place schedule because they play all the teams that won the division
and we
last
technically
year.
Finished 3rd last year.
Yeah.
And so we have a 3rd-place schedule in the division. And I think that's something that's going unnoticed is DC is the better team of all the teams in the division. But they do have a much different schedule versus home and away.
Who do you guys play this year? What divisions do you play?
I can't remember. Who do we play week 1? Oh, we play Tampa Bay. That's NFC. I can search it right now. Hold up a second.
Chargers. So you play the South.
So we play the South.
No, you play the West. Because you play the Chargers, the Raiders,
yes, we play the
Chiefs.
AFC West.
So that's a very tough division.
Yeah.
I would even say it's. I think you have the Chiefs obviously in that division. I mean, we'll go over in a second, but all 4 teams are decent. I'd probably lean towards decent, good, and decent bad, half and half.
Yeah.
But they're all decent, and then the Chiefs are spectacular.
I will say. I'll say this real fast: is I have Washington winning the division because I think they're the better team right now. I think Dallas is going to catch fire, but I think it's going to be too little too late. I think DC's going to start off with better punches at first because Dallas' schedule the first few weeks is tougher, and I think they're going to get beat around. But my only concern is I've been saying this from the beginning, Washington wins the division, and I don't even have Dallas or Giants as a wild card, by the way. So,
but neither do I.
But I will say this. The problem with Washington is I still think of all the teams in the NFC side, I think Washington still has the least wins of 49ers, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay.
Bananas.
I don't know where that came
Bananas.
from. So, but I want to say this too. I think Fitzpatrick figures it out before Dallas's defense gets 11 men to figure it out. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Dallas's preseason grades of this and that are high. They're great. I understand that. The problem though is a defense to get their shit together takes longer than Fitzpatrick being plugged into an already good offense. So I think by the time we're getting halfway through the season, you're talking DC at 4-2, 3-3, and Dallas is at 1-4. But now our defense is moving into the top 25, now 23, 22, and by the end of the year, we have the same record. But they have the head-to-head win early on us, and they get the one game ahead, and they get in the division. But I will say if Dallas defense figures it out before Fitzpatrick figures it out or Daniel Jones figures it out, that's a scary team because the offense is still there.
Yeah.
Whether Dak's a leader or not, that's to be argued on another podcast.
Yeah.
This division is interesting, but I think as we sit right now, Washington by far top to bottom is the best team.
Who's your last wild card? Because you said you didn't do one.
If I had to think about the divisions right now, I really could put Seattle there.
Okay.
Not Seattle. Cardinals.
Cardinals. Okay.
I could put Cardinals there. I could see a team like a Dallas. I could see a team like a Vikings.
See, I have the Vikings.
Yeah, right around that 500 mark. And I think that's right on where Dallas would be. And honestly, I think Washington's a few games ahead of that too. So, but I think above and beyond Tampa Bay, Green Bay, 49ers are running away with their divisions. I think top to bottom 49ers being healthy again is scary.
Okay.
I don't know why they're not getting any love in those wide receiver groups they have, but they're really talented.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it as I think the NFC is very top heavy.
Again. And I think the teams at the top are significantly better than the teams at the bottom.
49ers healthy, Bucks healthy, Packers healthy. Those three teams are the best three teams in the division by far.
By far. Conference, yeah.
And then I feel like Cardinals, Rams, you can even throw the Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, Bears, Washington, Dallas, and the Giants.
Yeah.
All in that
what if
battle where you're going 8-9, 9-8, something like that.
49ers, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay don't have question marks. Not as many as those teams you just named. Giants have a question mark. Washington has a question mark. Seattle has a question mark. All these teams, if their question mark gets figured out, could you not see them replacing the team above them? Except for Green Bay and Tampa Bay. You could see any other team in the West replacing the 49ers easily. Yeah. You could see any team, even the Giants and Dallas, easily replacing Washington.
All right.
I could see it.
Who do you have coming out of the NFC?
For the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I have Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay?
Yep.
So do I. Health-wise, they stay healthy.
Nobody's beating them.
I don't think. And even if they lose in the regular season,
they will.
Going into the playoffs, Tom Brady in the playoffs he's lost in the playoffs, obviously. But if they are healthy, that's a dangerous team, and I don't want to play them. So we'll do the AFC West.
Okay.
Who do you have? I'll let you go first in the AFC.
No, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay. What's the order you have?
Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Okay. I'm around the same. I said Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos.
Okay. I think the Broncos offense is the quarterback's the question mark. They remind me, and people don't know this, they remind me a lot of, in a way, DC's offense. They have really good wide receivers. Cortland Sutton's a monster. I can't remember the other dude. He came out with Judy. Is it Judy? I get him mixed up with Ruggs.
Judy.
So you have Judy, then you have Fant, you have a decent O-line, you have a couple good running backs, you have that Javonte Williams kid.
Yeah.
The offense is good, and their defense is good. Top to bottom, they have more weapons on offense than the Raiders, but the difference is the Raiders have a more consistent quarterback. They have Derek Carr. So either one of them, they're at the bottom. We both agree with that. They're both at the bottom. I think them picking not Tyrod Taylor.
Bridgewater,
thank you. Picking Bridgewater there was a really solid choice for them.
Yep.
And I think, but again, what helps him is that he's a check down guy, and that's not a disrespect to him. He doesn't turn the ball over, but he doesn't throw it more than 30 yards. They're going to be a slow moving offense, lots of running, lots of short slants, lots of Michael Thomas routes, and then they're going to have a really good defense.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, that's all
they need to do.
Yeah, I don't think any of the teams are in the caliber of the Chiefs.
Absolutely not. Not in that division. We'll wait for the other divisions, but not in that division at all. No, there's no one even close.
No. And then, so AFC South.
I have the Titans.
Okay.
I have the Titans because the Colts they're healthy. They're probably going to all be healthy week one, but I think a few weeks of them not practicing together, and I'll get to another team. We're going to get to them in a minute. I think them not being together for a lot of training camp may hurt them, and we don't know what Carson Wentz is. Okay. And that's not a disrespect. He really hasn't. I think he's missed more games than he's played sometimes, and we just don't know who he is with the Colts. But he has his coordinator from when he was in Philly, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's huge.
Okay.
But I just don't know if they're going to look good the first few weeks. And I think the Titans, again, Dallas may not look good the first few weeks. Washington will be ahead.
Yep.
I think that's the Titans right now. I think the Titans are the Washington. Dallas is the Colts. So we're going to be a few games behind because the Colts have more to fix going into the season than the Titans. I think the Titans are boom, ready, they're running. Game one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
But their defense is
a
little worse.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I believe in the Titans. I have the Titans win the division.
Yep.
I don't think the Titans are any better than they were last year.
No.
I think they are about the same.
Let me extend an olive branch real quick. I have the Colts in my wild card.
Okay.
And I could see them going farther than the Titans who win the division. because I think the Colts will get their shit together farther in the season, and I think they're going to be more cohesive, whatever the word I'm looking for is. But I think it might take 6 to 8 weeks for Carson Wentz to really catch fire. When he does, I think it's a good team.
Okay.
But I think by the time the playoffs come around, the Titans are the Titans. People are like, it ain't got no defense. But the Colts are like, hey, we're the wild card because we had a few injuries. Right. Carson Wentz wasn't really ready till week 2. I think they're going to be that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Giants team in the playoffs you don't want to play.
Yeah, the Titans have to have a defense that's a little bit better than what it was last year.
Yes.
And then they're fine.
Yep.
I still don't trust either one of these teams to make the championship game.
No.
Not the Super Bowl and or the AFC championship game.
No.
I don't trust them to do that. I've got Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans.
Yep, that's what I have.
I think the Jaguars are a sneaky sleeper team. I think the Texans are a dumpster fire.
Absolutely.
And that's all there. I just don't know. I think the reason why the Jaguars aren't going to be really that as good as they could be is because of the coach.
Yeah.
I think the coach is going to try to outsmart, like say I'm smarter than everybody instead of just coaching what you have. Yeah. I think he's going to get cute every once in a while, and I just think that's not going to work. We could do the North, the AFC North.
Okay. You want me to go?
Yeah,
I have the Browns winning the division.
Okay. What's your order for the division?
Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals.
Okay.
The reason I have that is because I think, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, I think you have this ladder where you have the Steelers and you have the Ravens kind of tripping on their way down, and the Bengals like, oh, hey, go ahead right by me, and they're walking their way up. Mm-hmm. And it's not a disrespect to the Bengals. The Bengals need to just have some good games strung together, and I actually have in my head Steelers and the Bengals winning the same games, but I think it goes back to that Dallas, and it goes back to that Colts thing. I think Burrow's healthy like Dak is, but I think he just needs to get out there and get the rust off like Dak does. I think that's a huge thing for him where every other team in the division's ready to go. Okay. And I think there's a lot of question marks still with not just Jamar Chase, the offensive line. The defense isn't as good as they thought. And it could get better, and I think it will. But I think they're still at the bottom, but they're sneaky like you just said them, Jacksonville is. Okay. I think they're a sneaky pick for this division to keep out that you'd be like, wow, holy crap, the Bengals have 8 wins, and I don't think that wouldn't surprise me. Okay. But I think right now, the other 3 are just better at the moment.
All right. I got Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers.
Okay.
I don't like putting the Ravens at 2, to be honest with you. But I couldn't see putting I don't think you could put the Bengals or the Steelers at 2. The reason why I don't like putting the Ravens at 2 is right now, Lamar Jackson hasn't thrown to one of their wide receivers that's going to be starting. Now, Bateman's out for the first 4 weeks. Hollywood Brown will be out there week 1, supposedly. Watkins hasn't been practicing. He's got a soft tissue injury.
You don't have J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins is out. They just lost Hill to an Achilles injury. You have 2 healthy running backs on your roster.
Yep.
They just signed Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad, which is an awful fit. That is an awful fit for an offense that doesn't throw the ball to the wide receiver.
Are you kidding me? You don't want more drama in Baltimore?
I just don't see this defense being as good as everybody says it is. I really don't see it. I see a good secondary. I don't see a good defense. I just don't understand what, and it's not even the radio station that I listen to that I've told many people. I listen to 105.7 The Fan. They drink purple Kool-Aid. I hear it from ESPN, NFL Network, NBC Sports. They're all talking up the Ravens defense like it's going to be the best thing since their 2000 defense when they were the best in the league. I don't see it. But the Steelers, T.J. Watt might not show up week 1. Big Ben, what do you have?
Yeah, I did this before. I heard about that too.
And what do you have in Big Ben? What is Najee Harris going to be able to run behind an awful O-line? And
I still think in a way the defense that they have and the ability of coaching and the stature the team has, I still think that to me they find a way to win more games because I don't know. To me, could I change it and put the Bengals at 3? It wouldn't hurt my feelings.
See, I look at it as I wear orange-colored glasses. Mm-hmm. I really do. I'm very fair, but when it comes to the beginning of the season, I wear the orange shades.
Don't we all?
And yeah. I really see the Bengals winning 8 or 9 games this year. I really do. The beginning of their schedule.
You might be one of the few Bengals fans that see that.
They should go about 5-2 in the first 7 games of the year. Like, they have a very easy schedule in the beginning of the season. It gets tougher at the end, but I just see this team being better than they were last year. And if everybody stays healthy, that team last year won 5 games with a roulette table at quarterback, no Joe Mixon, no offensive line to speak of. And the offensive line is a lot better this season than it was last year. The defense is a lot better than it was this season than it was last year because of the pieces they got healthy and the pieces that they added. So on paper, that's what I see. I don't know how it translates to the field.
That's my question with Dallas' defense. On paper, it looks like, from what we're hearing, it looks like it's a stud defense in preseason because of its blitz rates or it's this. But what happens week 1 when you go up against Tampa Bay?
Right.
That's the thing.
And so I do have the Bengals third. I have all 4 teams being close to 500.
Yeah.
Like a game or two below 500 or just a game over 500, and that's what I see. Like, I just don't see the Ravens winning 11, 12 games this year. I don't. Yeah. I see the Browns winning 11, 12, 13-ish.
Yeah.
But I don't see, but again, the track record for the Ravens and the Steelers is higher than it is for the Browns and the Bengals.
Yeah.
So the Browns could easily pull a Browns.
They very well could.
We said it the first podcast that we had last year, the very first podcast, which if you ever go back and listen to it, it is awful.
Oh, it's so bad.
Like, it's awful. Like, I don't even know how we continued. But, it's free. We're not sponsored, so we don't have to worry about getting fired.
Yeah, and you bastards don't have to pay for this, okay? So take your free content.
We said last year the Browns have a solid team, but the Browns are the Browns. They're going to finish last. And what did they finish second. They made it further in the playoffs than any of the teams.
So should we very quickly say they're going to finish last?
No.
You want the Bengals to finish first.
But I just I see that. Now, the AFC East, to me, could easily be the second best division in football. And the only reason why you can argue that it's not, and it could be the AFC North, it could be the NFC East.
I think the East is going to beat the shit out of each other all season long.
I just feel that the Jets are the reason why this division is not. You could argue that it's not the second best division in football. I have this going. I have 3 teams making the playoffs in this division.
No way. Go ahead.
Yes.
I want to hear it.
Bills, Pats, Dolphins, Jets.
So you have. So wait. Oh, because there's 3 playoff teams. Okay. I keep forgetting there's a third playoff team. Like, you have them winning over, like, the Ravens and the Colts and all them teams?
Well, I have Dolphins, Pats, and Colts as my wild cards. I have Bills, Chiefs, Titans, and Browns winning.
So I have the Bills, too. And I have, if I had to pick a third wild card team, I'd...
So you only have 1 team coming out of this division making the playoffs?
Now that I have another wild card, I put the Dolphins there. Now there's a third wild card. I would have had just 1. I think the Colts are better. I think the Ravens are still better. I think they'll find a way to win. Yeah.
All right.
Lamar Jackson will find a way to win games. I don't trust Tua at all.
Okay. Well, that's why I have them finishing third. But they won 10 games with Tua last year.
I know.
And I think
they also got to play the Jets, and the Patriots were garbage last year.
Patriots were 7-9.
Yeah.
7-9? Yeah, 7-9. But I think the Patriots moving on to a quarterback that can throw the ball is a huge change from what they had last year. I think they're still going to be run heavy, but I don't think they're going to be one-dimensional. I
think they're going to be run heavy, and I think it helps them. I think they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be run heavy. It's just, do they have the correct running backs on the roster, or are they going to use a multiple type back like they always do?
I think the reason why they traded Sonny Michel is because they want Damian Harris to run the ball.
And he's really good. This is my only concern. Again, another one of those question mark teams we talked about. Is Mac Jones, and this is, again, not a disrespect to Burrow, who had a good rookie season. Is he going to come out Burrow, or is he going to come out Herbert? And that's a huge difference with him.
He doesn't have to come out either.
But that's what I was about to say. He doesn't have to. But my worry is that he's going to come out neither one of them. And he might experience the defense of the Bills. He might experience the defense of the Ravens, the defense of the Browns, the defense of the Steelers. And I think that, yes, it's preseason, but I'm worried that he could play like an actual rookie. And not only win but 5 games, but there's also the chance it's the fucking Patriots. They could find a way to win 10 games, and he's the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
There's that chance. I just haven't seen enough from him yet. I want to reevaluate the Patriots, and I want to hold myself to it saying it here in about 3 to 4 weeks. I want to bring them back up and see how he's doing because I just don't see enough ceiling yet.
Okay.
But I know he's talented.
Well, just like Nate, I know you don't believe in Alabama quarterbacks.
It's hard
There's
to.
just something different about this kid.
I will agree. To me, if I had to start a team now, I'm taking him over Tua all day. There's no doubt about that. He's the quarterback I want because he has the arm and he has the accuracy. But I just want to see a little bit more. He didn't play a lot in college, and that's another thing. So we don't have a lot of tape on him.
Okay.
But I'm glad they picked him over Cam. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Better choice.
Who do you have coming out of the AFC?
I have the Chiefs again.
Okay, so you have Bucks Chiefs.
Again.
Okay, who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Chiefs get payback.
Okay.
And I know I picked the Chiefs last year against them. I think if the Chiefs spent so much money on offensive line, everybody they signed is, no offense, who the Bengals should have signed for their offensive line. They got better on defense. Their people are healthy. I just find a way, but it's so hard because Tom Brady doesn't lose. But I just have a gut feeling the Chiefs are going to get this one done, and this could be the last hurrah for the Brady. Okay. I'm going to say it here.
All right.
But I don't see him lose. I don't see him going out on a loss.
I think you said the last hurrah was last year for Brady.
No, but not just finally retiring. Not that he's declining. He won't. He's going to have a great year. I have him in 3 fantasy leagues. I just think in general, I think the Chiefs rebound. They had 4 offensive linemen hurt last year, and that defense ate them alive. If the Chiefs' defense was healthy, do you think that would have been as bad of a Super Bowl blowout? No way.
No.
And I just think that maybe seeing Mahomes get active with that line, I'm excited to see that this year. If they're all healthy, ready to go, Tampa Bay's healthy, Brady's at a high, I want to see it again. And I think we need part 2 to this. We need it.
I got the Bills.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got the Bills.
With no running backs.
I got the Bills.
Okay.
Main reason why I have the Bills, and I'll be completely honest here, is I just don't think it's going to be a repeat Super Bowl. And I just think Tampa Bay is head and shoulders better than anybody in the NFC. So since I don't believe it's going to be a repeat Super Bowl, I had to pick somebody different out of the AFC.
Let me ask you this before we go into our game of the weeks, locks, and all that. If the Chiefs don't return to the Super Bowl, are people going to start murmuring things? Do you think?
Where do they lose?
Do you think they lose in the AFC Championship game to the Bills?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. I think they lose in the AFC Championship game to the Bills.
Do you think people are going to start calling for his head?
No.
Not Mahomes.
No.
Reed. Okay.
No.
I don't think so either.
Here's the thing. In 4 years that Mahomes has been starting quarterback, you've made it to 2 Super Bowls and 4 AFC Championship games. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's freaking ridiculous.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
Now,
but you know how fans are.
But here's the thing, and here's the thing that I love the Patriots dynasty.
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. One, I'm from New England.
I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
You know, but it's something you've never seen in football before. I loved it. The problem with the Patriots dynasty is this. Now, everybody thinks it's easy to make it to the Super Bowl. Everybody thinks it's easy to go to the AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game. Ask Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Ask Drew Brees. Ask Marino. Ask Montana. Ask, all the greats, how easy was it?
Yeah, how many Super Bowl appearances does Brees and Rodgers have? 1 each? Brees has...
Did Brees never made it back, did he?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so
Rodgers.
1 each. Okay, so, and I think they've both lost 2 NFC Championship games.
It shows you how hard that is.
Right.
To do what Brady did.
And Marino made it to the Super Bowl his rookie year never made it back. I don't even think he made it to a championship game after that. And then Rivers, a couple AFC Championship games, no Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. Eli Manning made 2 Super Bowls, but how many? I think those were the only 2 championship games he made.
Didn't both years they won the Super Bowl? Weren't they wild card teams both times?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yep. Manning, Peyton, he's 2-1 in the Super Bowl. People forget because of this Patriot dynasty how hard it is to go to the Super Bowl, how hard it is to go to the championship games in your division.
3 years ago, before we did the podcast, you were working with me, and we were on the way to work talking about the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
That's how quickly you fall off.
Right. And like,
think about that.
People forget that. Like, salary cap, running, the Patriots did something that no teams have ever been able to figure out and do. And they hit lightning in a bottle with Brady.
Yep.
And yes, Brady was always a high paid quarterback, but he was never the highest. Brady would always take less money to give to, hey, all right, give me $5 million and give sign X, Y, and Z and let's make another Super Bowl run. Never. And they never overpaid. They never had the highest paid player at any position on their team. And that's where you have to really evaluate, and I think making it to 4 AFC championship games in 4 years is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And I
like that question because it was brought up on a sports page I follow saying, would it be a comparison to the Brady eras I commented saying, no, I don't think if they lost in the championship game, but I think if they didn't make the playoffs, that's a different story.
Well, remember, I think Logan posted it, or somebody posted it on Facebook, and Logan shared it in the group that we had, or Nate shared it. Brady has 3
different dynasties.
three MVP Hall of Fame careers.
Yeah.
His first 10 year, his first 7 year, it's 7, 7, and 7. And it's 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowls. And it's in 7 years. So,
and if he wins another one with Tampa Bay this year, it'll be 4.
But think about that real quick. In 7 years, he won 3 Super Bowls. In 7 years, he won 2 Super Bowls. In the next 7 years, he won 2 Super Bowls. Brady's not going to the Super Bowl every year. He didn't go to the AFC Championship game every year.
But he's been in the Super Bowl half his career. A little less than half. That's crazy.
So 7-3?
Yeah.
7-3 in Super Bowls. That's... You can name how many, half the league hasn't even been into the Super Bowl. Hasn't even been to the Super Bowl, I don't think.
There's 5 teams that have never been once, 8 teams that have never been once.
So it's just unrealistic and to poo-poo 4 AFC championship games in 4 years in 2 Super Bowls because you didn't win 4 Super Bowls. Come on.
Well, that's why I was asking. I saw a question was brought up, and I thought it was interesting that there would...
But what do you think?
No.
Would Andy Reid be talked about? Or
no, I think people would do it, but I think they'd be idiots if they did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be any reason to bring up Andy Reid right now. If you go 3 or 4 more years without it, you won a Super Bowl. You did everything you needed for it. Even if you don't win another one, you got a Super Bowl. That's all that matters.
Yep. So now we're going to transition to week 1.
Yep.
Okay? And I just simply I put stars... next to marquee games. Okay? These games to me are games that are something that I'm intrigued to see the outcome. Well, I'm going to name the games, and I'm going to see if you have any other games on there that I missed. Chargers at Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle at Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona at the Titans.
Okay.
Browns KC.
Okay.
Dolphins Pats.
Okay.
Bears Rams. I have all those starred as almost must-watch games.
I have one more.
Who's the...
Tampa and Dallas.
So you do... See, for me, I don't think it's going to be a good game.
You don't?
No. And I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
I pick Tampa to win, but I don't think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a blowout one way or the other. I really do. And I'm going to say if Dallas gets blown out on Friday morning, everybody's talking about whatever, is Dallas going to win a game this year?
Yeah.
Or if Dallas blows out Tampa Bay, all of a sudden Dallas is now the Super Bowl contender and not a single team's going to touch them and they're there, blah, 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 blah.
I would have to turn off Facebook because it's nauseating. But I put them there because I think both teams, not just Tampa Bay, but I think a little bit Tampa Bay, mostly Dallas, has a lot to prove again. Tom Brady has a lot to prove. Can he come out and do it? And we'll go through other games, but I think that's one. I have all the same games you have starred. I starred that one too.
And the reason why I start them is because of how they finished last year.
Yeah.
And the improvements or
that makes sense.
Like the Dolphins, how they finished last year, game out of the playoffs. The Pats, what they did this offseason.
Yeah.
Okay, that game to me, and it's a divisional game.
Yep.
The Rams and the Bears, Stafford. The Bears are TV's making the Bears must-see TV because you want to know when Fields is coming in. And I want to see how well the Rams do with Stafford.
Yep.
KC and the Browns. That was a playoff game last year.
Yep.
Are the Browns any better than they were last year?
Yep.
And Titans, Arizona. Again, two teams that were very good last year.
Need to take the next step.
Yes. And then Colts, Seattle. Seattle. Are they the same Seattle? Are they taking a step back? Colts you've talked about it. Colts with Wentz. What do they look like? Is that offense able to match what that defense can do?
Yep.
And then Washington and the Chargers. Herbert versus that defense. And that's the main reason why I started that one is Herbert versus that defense. Last year, Herbert struggled against good defenses.
Yep.
And the Patriots made him look like he was a bad rookie, not a rookie, like a bad rookie. And that was his worst game last year.
Yeah.
Like it was
I will say this, I'm not saying it because of being a Herbert fan. His numbers were still incredible, and they did play decent defenses still, but a lot of them were against really bad teams, against Denver and Raiders.
Rivera is a very good defensive coach.
Yep.
He does very well in that area, and that defense is very good. They're fast, they're physical, and I want to see how the Chargers match up against it.
And I think the good part is the Chargers with Eckler wanting to get him used. He wasn't healthy for a lot of last year. They have one of the best wide receivers in the league. Their offensive line, they spent almost $80 million on it, seemed. They went crazy on it.
Yep.
And the defense for the Chargers is okay. Right. I will say, though, DC has a really big game here. This is a huge game for them.
Yes.
Because this is a game they should win. This is 100% a game they need to win, and they need to prove it from game one, and have Chase Young punch that offense in the mouth and come out on top. And if they win this game, it's huge because the other teams in the division don't have good week one games.
No, the Giants face the Broncos, which is an interesting game, but it's a mediocre game.
And the Eagles have to play the Falcons, which they have a chance to win, but the Eagles, again, are in disarray in offense because they haven't had but a few weeks of practice together.
Right.
They have a first-round pick rookie last year who should have been a third-round pick, and they have another wide receiver this year who's a rookie who's been playing like Jamar Chase.
These week one matchups are all – you can make a case for every single game week one. Jacksonville versus Houston. Who's going to be the worst team in the league?
Not Jacksonville.
Is Lawrence going to really ball out? Is he the real deal?
Watch him ball out and have like 4 touchdowns. They talk about him like winning. They're going to talk about him like they do Dallas.
Jets versus Panthers. Darnold playing his old team. Vikings Bengals. Mm-hmm. One team that is fighting for the playoffs.
Yep.
And one team that needs to prove that they've made the right decisions and they need to start fast.
Yep.
49ers Lions is a bad game.
Oh.
That's a bad game. That's my lock of the week is the 49ers over the Lions.
Yep.
Pittsburgh versus Buffalo.
Yep.
That's a huge week one game. And you're looking at it too, and like Green Bay, the Saints. Some of these games have end of the season implications, and it's week one. It's sort of like the Clemson Georgia game.
Yeah, that's good.
It has end of the season implications.
Yep.
It's like you're looking at this and you're going, if Green Bay beats the Saints, and the Saints are good this year, Green Bay owns that tiebreaker already.
Yep.
You're looking at who was the other one that I was looking at? Pittsburgh and the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins that game has a leg up on the playoffs.
I even said it, and I'm not bringing up Dallas game, but if Dallas somehow finds a way to beat Tampa Bay, that's your only team you're playing this year that has more than 10 wins from last year.
Right.
The rest of your schedule is garbage teams, and that's a hell of a way to start your season.
Yes.
So again, there's a lot of implications here that if some of these teams won, you're going to go, ooh, it's going to be an interesting season.
Right. But that my lock of the week is the 49ers over the Lions. Who did you pick?
I'm typing stuff in as we go because I didn't finish all my stuff. So my lock of the week is the same game. I think our upsets are probably different. My lock of the week is 49ers at the Lions. I think that is easily the only pick here. I also had I don't want to say lock of the week, but I did have another small lock of the week that I wanted to talk about was the Packers at the Saints. I think that could be a potential lock of the week too. I got the Packers easily beating the Saints because I don't have the Saints as high as I think as you do, even with, what's her name, Winston. Their starting wide receiver is going to be starting week 1, wouldn't even start on DC.
Okay.
Then that's my thing is who's he going to throw to? Kamara can't do it all.
Who's going to protect Aaron Rodgers?
They have an okay offensive line.
Their number one offensive lineman's out for the first 8 weeks.
But even when their line wasn't the best, they still found a way.
Yeah,
it's like Tom Brady and his line was never really the best, but they always found a way.
Yeah, I look at it as I like Jameis. I like Jameis. I'm high on Jameis this year.
I think he's going to be fine.
I really am, but I'm not high on the Saints team.
Yeah.
But who do you have as the upset?
I have the Raiders beating the Ravens.
Okay, we have the same.
Oh, so we do.
Yeah,
okay,
we have the same.
I think my reasoning for the Raiders, I actually am not high on the Raiders at all. I'm really not. They only have one offensive weapon to throw to that's worth a damn, and that's Waller. I like Ruggs. I picked him up in every league that I have, and I got made fun of for one of them. Like, he's their number one wide receiver. He's going to get catches. He's going to get targets. Derek Carr is just Derek Carr. Does that mean to say he's just Derek Carr? And he's not great. He's not terrible. He's a good quarterback. And then you have a really good running back, and your defense is an average defense. But my problem with the Ravens is what we said earlier. They have zero practices together.
Yes.
They have no J.K. Dobbins. They won't have their number one wide receiver. I know the tight end, Mark Andrews, got a contract, but he's been struggling with a hip injury for a few days. Not serious, but he may be limited in the week 1. They're just decimated, and I don't think their defense is that good. I think the Ravens fans, and I know they listen to this, I think they think they're better than they are. They're like Dallas fans, essentially. They think they're better than they are, and I think they...
That would be a good debate. Who's the worst fans? Ravens or Dallas?
I think the worst fans by far in the entire league is Eagles fans.
I could see that too. Yeah.
Eagles fans, Steelers fans, Patriots fans, Dallas. In no order. Ravens, teams that are just arrogant who think they're going to win every game every year.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots fans are like, they don't know anybody before Tom Brady, and they already have Buccaneers jerseys this year. You're like, I saw a dude the other day with a Buccaneers jersey on. I ain't never seen a Buccaneers jersey in Maryland in my life, and I've seen like 3 this year. You guys are a bunch of freaking Steph Curry fans, huh?
Do you see any other game where it's an upset? Like, as I have another upset, I think it's an upset. I have Arizona over the Titans in week 1.
I could see it. Excuse me. I could see that. If I'm going through my list here, you're talking upsets. There could be a way I could see the Browns win against the Chiefs.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are really good, but the Browns are a good team too. That's another thing is that Browns defense is no joke. But I will say this. It's hard to say upsets out of week 1 because they have no records. No one's done anything.
Right.
People are like, well, the Buccaneers won 13 whatever games. They could win 5 games this year. You have no idea.
True.
So what is an upset? People are like, well, Falcons and Eagles isn't a good game. Are you kidding me? That's a great game because you don't know anything about either team.
Yep. I do have the Bengals over the Vikings.
Oh.
I do have that.
It's got to be a homer pick, huh?
No, it's just gut feeling. Like I said, I have the Bengals going 5-2 in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I think the Bengals could potentially have the better season on paper there, but I think my problem is I don't think Burrow's 100% ready between the ears yet. I think he needs a week or 2, and I think he might start off a little slow, and I think you may see that week 1 and 2 where he has a little bit like last year, but then he starts popping off 300-400-yard games. But I just don't see it week 1. He hasn't played. He hasn't really. He had 3 snaps in the preseason. And I'm not saying this. I know Dak had none, but Dak is a 5-year vet. That's a huge difference between the two.
Yeah.
And so I just think expecting Burrow to come out the first few weeks on really on paper locked in is unrealistic to me. Okay. But I do see him, like I said, Dallas and those teams picking up that steam 4 or 5 weeks in where they're just like, bam, wow, that's the Burrow we wanted last year.
Do you have Dallas winning?
Winning week 1? No.
Thursday? No.
I have the Buccaneers winning.
Everybody's going to be hearing this on Friday.
Yep.
So we have Tampa Bay winning Thursday night.
Yep.
I don't see a scenario where Dallas can get as up as Tampa Bay is going to be for that game.
I think our problem is I think Dak will probably have a lot of points. But I think what's going to happen is every time Tampa's on the field, I don't think I think it's going to be like that Chiefs Super Bowl. But I do think we are going to get the ball out. I don't think Dak's going to get beat up. I bet we score 21 points. But I think Tampa's going to score 35. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I really do. But my gut tells me the defense is going to look a lot faster and a lot better with small implements of the Legion of Boom defense still. I think you're going to see a lot of fast-moving defenses because I've seen a lot of preseason stuff where a lot of scouts and people are saying and trainers are going, yeah, this defense is completely different. They took the old book and threw that bitch in the fire. It looks nothing the same, and you won't notice it. You'll be like, this ain't Dallas. That doesn't mean it'll be good enough to stop week 1. I think it's a huge game. Dak not playing in over a year. I don't think we're going to look good.
Tampa Bay with no tape.
That's the thing, too.
You know, you have Tampa Bay with no tape. And if you change your whole defense and you don't know what kind of defense you're going to be facing, your first 2-3 drives, you're wondering what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Whereas in
that's
some
the thing,
of these
Tampa
other
Bay
cases,
doesn't know what our defense will look like at all.
Right.
That's
and
another
so that's
thing.
why
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, it's, you know, but
I think Dallas will look okay, but at the end of the day, let's be real. You know, Dallas fan, they're going to lose this game. I think Tampa Bay's going to win this game easily, and they're going to hold their rings up in their ceremony, and everything will be fine.
Okay. Chargers, Washington. Who do you got?
I have Washington winning that game.
Okay. Seattle Colts.
See, our lists aren't in the same way, but I could just say I have Seattle. Oh, no,
Okay.
wait. Hold up. That doesn't sound right to my list. Seattle's Colts. I have Colts. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry. I have mine on ESPN's games in order, so.
Yeah, I do. That's how mine are, but
Yours
it's
must have done it backwards.
Jets, Panthers.
Jets and Panthers. I have the Panthers.
Okay. Vikings, Bengals.
Vikings.
Arizona, Titans.
Titans.
Okay. Those are the only two. Jacksonville, Houston.
Jacksonville.
Okay.
I don't think Houston's going to do well.
So far, Bengals and Arizona are the only two. We both know the 49ers. Bills, Pittsburgh.
Bills.
Falcons, Eagles.
Falcons.
KC, Browns.
KC.
Green Bay, Saints.
Green Bay.
Giants, Broncos.
Giants. Broncos.
Okay. I have the Giants.
Okay.
Dolphins, Pats.
Dolphins.
I have the Pats.
Okay.
So there's 4 differences we have. Bears, Rams.
Rams.
Okay, and we both have the Raiders.
Yep.
All right, so that's 4 differences. The 4 differences are the Vikings and the Bengals, Arizona and the Titans, Giants, Broncos,
Yep.
and Dolphins, Pats.
Yep.
Those are the 4 games that we picked differently.
I will say, I think DC is the only team in the NFC that wins a game this week.
Okay.
NFC East. Sorry, not the whole NFC.
Yeah,
The NFC East.
I have the Giants beating
Yep.
the Broncos because it's in New York.
Yeah.
And I just want to see what the Broncos offense looks like.
Yeah.
Because you knew what it looked like under Drew Lock, which was just a mess.
Yeah.
It was him playing backyard football, and that was it.
I picked the Broncos because the Broncos are 3rd in the league in quarterback rush percentage, like getting to the quarterback, and Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback when pressured. And I just don't see that changing. They did nothing really to the O-line. I mean, they added a couple key pieces. I think they did to the O-line what the Bengals did, and you're hoping these were good pieces. But they have the wide receivers, but Daniel Jones is not getting better. He's not getting averagely better. He's getting worse. Okay. And that's my thing with me is, but again, the Giants, if they figure it out, man, scared. That's why I love week 1. I just want to put that clear. Week 1 is so much fun because you just don't know. There's so many storylines.
No, you don't know week 1.
And I'm going to be very excited.
Week 1 to me is the best.
Did you really just do that again?
Yes, because I wanted to, but I stopped it because it gets too much.
Oh, okay.
We got to save that for special occasions like week 1. like week 1.
Now, I had no idea what was happening.
Do you have something that you want to complain about?
Do you have something you want to complain about?
Kind of. I don't have it in words, but I have it in.
I don't have mine in words, but something's been bothering me. Right. What's your topic about though? Is it football?
No, this is people in public.
Oh God, here we go again, Mark. All right, then I'll do mine. I don't know how they would do it, but this is something we brought up in the group. We talked about it. I'm having a really big time, and it didn't hit me till you mentioned it. Logan and Nate mentioned it. Of preseason college football rankings, they bother me, and I don't know if they do it based off of quality of draft picks, based off of last season of this kind of stuff. And people know I'm a West Virginia fan. This has nothing to do with us losing. We lost. We got beat up. But Virginia Tech is a rival of ours. Virginia Tech beat UNC, and people called it the upset of the century. Virginia Tech isn't a bad team, and I don't think UNC should have been ranked number 10.
Right.
there's teams ranked in the top 10 that only had 5 or 6 games last year. Virginia Tech only played 5 games last year. UNC only played 6. Maryland only played 4. So my concern is you're ranking these teams top 10 for preseason hype and TV contracts. We know what it's for. But realistically, some of the teams that are ranked, like UCLA was ranked top 10, they only won 5 games last year. Right. Why are they ranked that high? Preseason rankings gets people hype, but then people are like, oh, we beat the number 10 team. They weren't even not top 10 last year. It's almost like they ranked them based off of incoming hype. Again, and here's the thing. Clemson lost to Georgia in a great game. That was one of my favorite college football games I've seen in decades. It landed 7-3. Can you pick a better college football game
10-3.
10-3. A better college football game than that? You can't because it's so defensive. It was great.
But
here's the problem. Clemson's going to fall 1 spot.
No, they fell to 6.
They did fall to 6?
Yep,
I haven't looked.
To 6.
I wasn't looking.
Yeah,
but still.
But the thing is you've known me for 6 years now, and I've never liked the preseason rankings. I think it's all a bunch of crap. I think it's just, schools, have no business being in the top 10, top 20, top 25. And, the Florida State Notre Dame game to me was an excellent game.
It was a good game.
And I love that kid. He shattered
Mackenzie Milton.
Yeah, that story to me is Alex Smith-esque.
He's a great kid.
Right there.
That was that national championship UCF team that claimed the net. He was a good quarterback.
So, but I agree, 100% agree with you.
I would only change one thing, and I know the guys disagreed, but I would like to see college football's 12 weeks long. 13 because they have bye weeks, so there's more than that. I would like to see a potential... Sorry, your page flips every time the fan goes by. I would like to see 4 weeks go by, and then they release the first week of, like how they do the playoff rankings after week 8. Yep. Week 4 hits, everyone's ranked in the 25. You could do AP or coaches rankings, but your top 25 with a number before your name, no one gets one till then. And use recruiting and use this and strength of schedule as that. But there's no reason UNC was ranked 10. That's one of those teams I'm like, really? They played awful. They were not prepared at all.
No.
Your star quarterback, who's the potential number 1 pick in the draft, threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yep.
And then your other quarterback, who's potentially going number 2, almost lost to Tulane.
Yeah. No, it was a bad week.
It's a bad week for top teams in college football, besides Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
Who looked fantastic. The SEC, as always, looked great. So go ahead with yours. I was just saying, I think college football rankings
I agree.
are a joke.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I've said this for years. I think the preseason rankings ruin college football for me, to be honest with you. Or the ranking system in general ruins college football for me. So mine is this. My friend Steve posted something on Facebook, and it set me off. And
it doesn't take much to set you off, old man.
All right, we've all been shopping, correct?
Have we?
Yeah, we've all been to the grocery store. We've all been to Walmart. We've all been to Target. And you've all heard these dumbass people talking loud on their speakerphone to their friends about what happened and how much of an asshole this guy is and da-da-da. We don't care about your life.
No.
Hang up the phone, shop, and call them. We don't care.
Nope.
Get off the phone. And then they have the gall to look at you what are you staring at? I'm staring at you embarrassing yourself, talking about how your friend's underwear was hanging out and how trashy she is. Oh, but, I'm going to call her later and, it'll be all good. And it's get off the fucking phone. I'm so sick and tired. I work with the public. I work with the public.
We can tell.
All the time. Everybody is just blah, 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 on their freaking phone, not paying attention to anything, and then looking at people going, what are you paying attention to? Worry about yourself. No, we have to worry about you because you're so damn fucking loud and talking about how your period is overflowing and all this crap. It's just so annoying. Hang up the phone. Cell phones should be banned in this world, let alone, just get rid of it. I am so sick and tired of listening to people talk about their stupid, insignificant lives that I do not care about. And 90% of the people that they are talking in front of do not care.
They don't care either.
So, yeah.
That was a good rant. I will say this. One of my last days at work before I left my job, because I started a new one this week, was a client. I used to work on people, actual people. And the lady was in the break room we have. It's called a tranquility room. a place where it has 5 signs that says, please put your phones away. And she's sitting there going, yeah, girl, I'm getting my massage in a little bit. What you doing? Going on and on. I was like, hey, can we tone that down a little bit? It is a massage spot. She's like, I'm busy. And she told me if she was busy. I was like, yo. I was like, you better hope you're not my client. And then she's just like, but I could hear her. And you used to work there with us. She was like probably 40 yards away from me in the room. And I was in the office. And I could still hear her going, yeah, so when I get my massage, I'm going to be out of here about 3:25, 3:30. Going on and on and on. Yes, young girl. And she was just like, the next lady walked in. And one lady was like, can you tell her to like bring it down a little bit? And I was like, yeah, this is my last week here. I'm not doing that. But she was so loud. And I know what you're saying because it's a spa. It's supposed to be silent.
Yes.
And then you get people at Walmart like, I don't care about your life.
No.
But at the same time, let's not lie. We're a little bit devil's advocate. We're kind of like, what's she talking about? You know, we're kind of leaning that we want to know all about it.
You're definitely like, why are you talking about that in public right now? Like, just because you're on the phone doesn't mean we can't hear you. You're not home.
Isn't it nice to know you feel like you're part of the family? Like, you know you know the lady's name, you know what color underwear she wore last week. You know.
It's just it
drives you insane, bud. Doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't.
I really thought I was gonna be the one more fired up on these hot takes, but hot clocks.
Oh no,
it's definitely you.
Oh yeah, no.
By
Because
far.
see, you try to do it sports related.
Yeah.
There's things that build up during the week that I just.
There's so many things that piss me off, but this is supposed to be a very friendly podcast, so I
that
don't
whole
talk
thing,
about it.
Like, I don't know what fires me up more, having to listen to people's insignificant conversations, or
people
when when you ask somebody how they're doing and they don't say good. Just say good.
I think you hate it when they say good too.
No, I'm just like good, and you just keep walking because you're just being nice. Like, you don't. Like, I don't know if anybody that works with me listens to this. If they do, they're really just figure it like, I don't care. I'm just asking and being polite.
Your boss listens all of a sudden. Hey, Mark, we got to talk.
You know, I'm just being polite. Hey, how you doing today? I'm here. Yeah, no shit. That's why I asked you how you're doing. Yeah, we got to get this wrapped up because I'm getting fired up. So we got to go.
All right, guys.
Everybody, enjoy week 1. I hope all your fantasy teams lose except for mine.
Yep.
And, yeah, everybody, just have a good week. Enjoy week 1.
Enjoy week 1, everybody. Have a great time, and I hope DC loses. Peace out.